it's very competitive. And when we lose the day, to me, that's like a shot in the heart, you know? It's like we lost the game. So there's a lot more than that because it's practice. You want to learn. But at the end of the day, we're out here competing, and the goal is to, you know, have more good plays than the other team. And in that case, that's the defense right now. And I feel like we can compete even more and even better. But a lot of it's just execution and the X's and O's and figuring out how to communicate with each other. So better days ahead, but, you know, we're in the start of this thing, and we got to get it going. But we just take it day by day.
All right, Amina Smith joining the conversation now. And Amina, you were here with me yesterday when we had Greg Bedard and Tommy Curran and Phil Perry on. And Bedard called yesterday an abject disaster. And both Curran and Phil, you guys said, hey, listen, it wasn't great, but it's just one day of practice. There's always tomorrow, I feel like, was a phrase that was used a lot on this show yesterday regarding the Patriots offense. So, Phil Perry, how was tomorrow, which was today?
Tomorrow, which was today, I would say, Trenni, was better. It still wasn't good. So the 11-on-11 period that I thought was the most competitive towards the end of practice, 17 reps for the Mac Jones-led offense. And between run plays and pass plays, I counted 6 of 17 plays that were positive. You had a drop mixed in, you had a couple quote-unquote sacks, a pass breakup, Tom. It just looked disjointed to me. And so I understand Mac Jones' frustration, and that sounds like frustration to me. This is somebody who wants to compete, who wants to see his offense perform well. He wants to see results on the field. But I think at the same time, there's this push-pull within him to say to himself, okay, this is going to take some time. And it is just the second day of practice. And so hopefully we can build towards something here. But through 2 days of fully padded practice, it hasn't been good for the offense.
Too many snaps in which the offense is trying to accomplish something in the passing game, and the quarterback, after 2.5 seconds, has to bring the ball down and run. He's either pressured or nobody's open. That's not what you're doing. It's a wasted rep. Nothing gets done for anybody except the defense gets a win against a team that's struggling to comprehend its new offense. What Amina, I look at is, as a player, you say, okay, I understand we're trying to do something new, but why? It looks so bad. We're wasting practices. We're wasting precious time. So this patience push-pull that Phil refers to is going to be an ongoing situation. And it was interesting, guys, too, to hear Mac Jones utter the word new offense. Not streamlined, not different, not new terminology, new offense.
And one other new element to that, guys, is the fact that he acknowledged to us that last year he had a lot of freedom to change plays at the line of scrimmage. So if he saw a look that he didn't like, he could get the team into something better. He said they're working through that right now. So it sounds like, as Tom put it earlier, they're just getting in the lab. They're trying to get these plays on tape. Even if they don't work well, they're okay with that because they think they're going to learn something from it.
I mean, you know, Mac Jones, if you saw the sound today, if you saw his face, he did look a little dejected that it's been a difficult transition thus far. But a transition it is. Like, how long should we have patience before the Patriots or Patriots fans start to go, oh, man, this might just not be working?
I mean, it's only day 2 of them being in pads. I don't know why everybody's running around with their hair on fire thinking that the offense is going to be completely terrible. And just like Curran and Phil laid out right there, this is a new offense. So not only do you have a sophomore quarterback, you know, coming into this system, trying to learn new things, but then also you have Matt Patricia trying to juggle the offensive line, trying to do that, trying to play call. All these things, it sounds like to me, Trenni, are growing pains. Mac Jones today missing receivers out there on the field, running backs not being able to find running lanes, and then you also have offensive linemen. They're missing blocking assignments out there. So a lot of it to me just sounds like the growing pains of Bill Belichick trying to figure out this offense. Again, there's no offensive coordinator, sophomore quarterback coming into this, trying to learn new things, something different this season. And then you also just have, you know, just the way that we are right now in terms of training camp, it's still very early. So I'm not going to panic just yet. I am a little bit concerned still going into this season, but I think the further and further we get into camp, the more will be revealed about what we might see in the coming weeks.
Tommy Curran, Phil Perry back here with me now. And guys, listen, not everything is bad down at Patriots training camp. We don't want to send everybody, you know, home with a frown after a hot, long day out there. So, Curran, you have been particularly impressed with Tyquan Thornton. He has been popping at camp. This is what this segment is. Who's popping down there for the Patriots? What has impressed you most about Thornton?
that he's out there as much as he is. Look, I said this is going to be an apprentice year for him. He's shaped like a popsicle stick. It's going to take a while. It's a deep wide receiver room. He's not going to be relevant at all. Yet he's up there with the ones, running alongside Jonnu Smith and Jacoby Myers, Mac Jones throwing the ball to him in 7-on-7s. And he makes plays, Trenni. The ball comes to him, and he seems to know where he's supposed to be. And when the ball hits his hands, he makes a catch. And he also makes some absurd circus catches. Today he made one with Jalen Mills in coverage over his shoulder, and Jalen Mills actually applauded the rookie. So pretty good.
Really good, really good. I think he's been better than I thought when it comes to the contested catch part of his game, because not only did he have that catch yesterday, today, he made a diving catch yesterday with Jawan Williams close by, pressed him at the line of scrimmage. Again, he's a light guy, but he was able to get back on track, fight through that press, and then make a nice diving contested catch. So he tracks the ball well. He has really good speed. He has good hands. And like Tom, I'm impressed too to just see him out there against Jalen Mills, who is your de facto #1 corner. That means the coaching staff sees something in this guy too. They're not trying to give him softballs early in camp here.
All right, Phil, I like your stock up, stock down article that you do after a lot of camps, a lot of camp practices. And one guy who's been mentioned repeatedly is Devontae Parker. What has made him pop for you at camp?
Again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but the contested catch ability that this guy has is legit, better than advertised, I would say, because whether it's the red zone periods they've been working in or in the one-on-one periods that we've seen the last couple days, Tom, if he has to turn his body, rotate, high point a football that should be a quote-unquote 50-50 ball, he's coming down with just about all of those. I haven't seen a ball hit the ground yet that has hit his hands.
There's a knack to that body positioning too that N'Keal Harry, who was of similar size and maybe even could jump a little bit higher, although Parker can jump. But N'Keal Harry, why was he not able to do that? Well, it is a consistency to using your body, and that's what he seems to have. You know, a 50-50 ball should mean this, okay, ball's right here, but sometimes N'Keal would be like this and it's contested. Parker gets his whole body in front of people. He really seems to know how to use his body and attack the ball. And we saw sometimes last year with N'Keal, and I bring him up because that's the direct replacement I think Devontae Parker is supposed to be targeted for. He just blocks people out and blots out the sun a little bit.
Nice block out by you there.
Thanks,
by the way.
That was nice. That was nice. I wish you could have seen Phil Perry's face. Curran, you've expressed your concerns about the defense, but Christian Barmore has looked pretty good in camp. What kind of player do you see him becoming? How has he been popping in camp?
It's up to him, man. I mean, really, it's up to him and good fortune. If he stays healthy and continues to apply himself, it's a complete and utter mismatch every time he lines up. Doesn't matter if he's lining up against the ones or against the threes. Today, he fended off an offensive lineman, one of the depth guys. Phil might know the name. I'm not sure who it was. And he caught J.J. Taylor with his other arm. And just one arm and hugged him to his side like a tiny little baby. And that's unique.
He is a large, very quick human being. And normally that plays well on the interior of the defensive line. He had one rep against Mike Owenu, who's one of their biggest offensive linemen. Looks like they're starting right guard right now. And Owenu basically whiffed, just hit nothing but air because this 315-pound man in front of him suddenly vanished. He is that fast off the ball. I think, Trenni, he's their best defensive player. I know Matt Judon is out there. He was a Pro Bowler last year. I know they have some good players at the safety position, but to me, Barmore has the highest ceiling, and I think even as we stand here right now, he is their most talented defender.
Bar none.
Oh, I see what you did there. Really quickly, one guy I was worried about was Trent Brown because of his weight and the fact that once he signed a big deal a few years ago, he didn't play very well. But he's been popping for you, Phil. Why?
He's in the stock up component of stock up, stock down today, Trenni, because every time he gets his hands on someone, that person loses. And oftentimes they end up on the ground. He looks slimmer this summer to me, Tom. He's moving well, and he almost never loses those one-on-one reps.
That's really encouraging, too, because post Dante Scarnecchia, who did such a great job getting him in condition, we had concerns to see what would happen. He seemingly wasn't in shape when he was with the Raiders. Back here, no Scarnecchia, a little turnover on the offensive line coaching group, and he still looks great.